What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Thanks for watching our content. If you're not subscribed, do so immediately as we are now providing all kinds of content. This video right here devoted to OU baseball as they begin their postseason run against Oral Roberts as the Sooners, for the first time since 2010, are hosting a regional. And it's a tough regional, Hunter, with OU, UConn, ORU, and Duke. So it's a tough regional. They open up with ORU, a team they split with on the year. And it sounds like Tyson Witherspoon is going to be getting the start in this game. So, Hunter, what is there to expect? I know there's a lot of excitement around the Sooner Club with Skip Johnson and just the amount of potential that this team has, especially at the plate. But they've also got a few starters maybe that have come on a little bit. So there's a lot of excitement buzzing around the Sooner baseball squad, and rightfully so. But tough regional here, and it opens with ORU.
Yeah, not the easiest regional. Definitely, probably not the toughest. Duke is a very good team, though. I thought that with their just beat down of Florida State in the ACC championship, that would be enough for them to possibly host or be a 2 seed in one of the lower seeded regionals, a more favorable matchup for them. That's not the case. They're in Norman, so those are the two big teams. Uh, in this regional. A lot of people expect it to be one of those two, kind of a coin flip type of regional between Oklahoma and Duke on who wins it. But Oklahoma going Skip Johnson with a kind of interesting move with Kyson Witherspoon starting game one against ORU. Braden Davis is the Friday night guy, the ace of the staff, not getting the start, presumably saving him for Duke on Saturday. I kind of thought it would maybe be a Braden Davis start, just kind of limited on a pitch count, kind of rely a little bit more on your bullpen, not as much on the key guys, but playing an ORU team that you're familiar with that, I mean, you beat them down in Norman last time you played them in Norman, 10-0 in 7 innings. You would think that that's a game that you could save some of your better arms, your two better arms for the Saturday and Sunday days of the regional, but that's not the case. And ORU in the tournament because of their Summit League tournament championship this past weekend.
ORU is a team, Hunter, that's especially last postseason, they become fan favorites. You know, they had the whole gummy bear, gummy worm thing. This is not that team. In my opinion, this is not a team. Maybe a little bit of a run, a little bit of scare. I don't think they're as good as the book was. However, OU, like we said, is throwing out Witherspoon and not Braden Davis. I was a little shocked with that as well. Here's one thing I think we can both be confident in. OU's bats should provide enough runs. The bullpen is something you don't want to have to utilize early and often. That, to me, is one of the big keys.
Yeah, the bullpen for Oklahoma at times has been very, very good. At other times, it has been pretty shaky. I think you kind of saw with last weekend in the Big 12 tournament that some guys are starting to step up. Oklahoma's been a team that all year the Sunday starter has been kind of an unknown. To start the year, you had Jamie Hitt there. Kind of just unfortunate for him and how the Nebraska game went. He got the win the following weekend, not a good outing against Wright State. And it kind of has just snowballed there to the point that, I mean, he's not even a starter anymore besides maybe opening a game occasionally. You had Grant Stevens in the midweek. I mean, at one point was 5-0 on the year. I believe still leads the Sooners in wins or best win percentage. Does not lead them in wins, but 5-1 on the year for Grant Stevens. Starter role at times. You saw it last week against Kansas in the Big 12 tournament, where I mean he really saved the game, inheriting runners in the second inning, already down 4-0. At the end of the inning, it was 6-0. He was able to get 6 shutout innings from that point on. I don't believe had an earned run to his name that game, and really some dominant stuff from him that got him on the all tournament team last weekend down in Arlington for Oklahoma. And at this time of the year, pitching side of things especially, somebody has to step up that you're not really expecting to do it. I mean, right now Oklahoma offensively a 313 team batting average, one of the most electric offenses in the country. Even though they don't hit nearly as many home runs, I mean 68 on the year. You're looking at Duke, who has, I believe, 120 or 112, sorry, home runs on the year. They have about 6 guys with double-digit home run totals, most of them being over 15 or more. That's not the case for Oklahoma, but offensively, I mean, I think they can score a good amount of runs on just about anybody in the country with the way their bats have been just rallying together. I mean, the 26-run day that they had in Cincinnati, the big outings they had in the Big 12 tournament, the season that they've had as a whole. They've shown that they could be an offense that has what it takes to get to Omaha. It just goes back to that pitching. And Kyson Witherspoon and Braden Davis, both sub-5 ERA guys, which in the Big 12, that's, I mean, just college baseball as a whole, that's pretty dang good for each of them. I mean, Braden Davis contributed to a combined no-no against West Virginia early on. I mean, West Virginia is a team in the field of 64. Kyson Witherspoon kind of starting out of the bullpen. Now he's this weekend the number one guy for the way it's just fallen into line for Skip Johnson. But it's about somebody stepping up. Could that be Will Karsten? I don't know. I thought Karsten would be a guy this year that would have a very good year as a senior that's been in this ball club for a long time now. Hasn't really gone his way. Carter Campbell, got to like what you saw out of him in Arlington last weekend. 5 innings there against OSU. So this weekend's all about somebody that you wouldn't expect stepping up, eating some innings, and putting some zeros up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the case. That's what's going to have to happen. It is different. I know guys get used to it. And Hunter, you follow baseball all the time. Guys get used to that night that they're pitching. So that is going to be a little bit different. I do think that, as you mentioned about Duke's potential with the long ball and just how dynamic of an offense they have, that's got to be why Braden Davis is being saved. It's for that second game, that matchup there. But one thing we need to mention, Hunter, is the bats. Yes, OU's got them. OU can score runs, and they can score them quickly. Defensively, this team has shown specifically some individuals very, very, very elite, flashes of leather on the defensive side. But they've also struggled with games with multiple errors, bad, unforced errors. You cannot have that in this regional because there's teams that can take advantage of those opportunities. So I think that's one thing to notice and maybe to watch for is how good is this team playing defensively?
Yeah, outfield wise, I mean, they've been pretty much perfect. I mean, they really between John Spikerman, Jason Walk at times has had some big time games. Kendall Pettis did have an error in that. Just, I mean, kind of. I don't even know how to describe that game. 7 errors and to be able to win. That's not something that, I mean, really ever happens in the game of baseball. Oklahoma was able to do it, but Kendall Pettis has been on SportsCenter a few times this year. Bryce Madron, although his size might not look like a very good defensive outfielder, he is, even when he's not making the best read on the ball, his ability to just field it and fire it in. That's something to watch. Again, he's missed some time as of late. Would expect him to be back, but maybe he's not. If that is something that the quad injury, as it was reported on the broadcast last weekend, is still lingering, that might be something to monitor this weekend in Norman for Madron, one of Oklahoma's best hitters and one of the best hitters in college baseball. But some keys to the game real quick against ORU. Get Jacob Hall out of the game as fast as possible. 3.71 ERA on the year, the ace for ORU, very good pitcher, 102 innings, 105 strikeouts. And this season, he has one outing all year that was under 5 innings pitched. And that was his first outing of the year against Evansville, 4.2 innings. So not far off. Even when he does give up a good amount of runs, he's staying in the game quite a bit. That's going to be the goal for ORU, is to keep him in the game as long as possible. Oklahoma has to counter it by getting him out before 5 innings, getting through that ORU bullpen, making them have to work for it at the plate, put some runs up early, give your guys some run support, and hopefully cruise to a game one victory, because, I mean, this regional, you don't want to fall behind game one. A game one loss is a very tough road to come back from. And then offensively on ORU, best hitter is Holden Breeze by a long shot, 353 hitter with 9 home runs and 48 RBIs on the year. Familiar face from a year ago from that ORU team. But again, as you mentioned earlier, this is not the same ORU team that made that magical run to Omaha last year. Down year for them, but they still made the tournament. Again, a team that OU is familiar with, and they should be able to get the win without any issues.
Yeah, and I like both of those keys of the game. And there you have it. Hunter, baseball knowledge out the roof. Thanks for being here. Hunter's going to be at the regional, watching this regional, and appreciate you guys watching this video. Again, we'll be covering the Sooner baseball program as they make their run to Omaha, and we hope that starts with a victory against ORU, the in-state competition, starting on Friday. And we'll see what the future holds. Whether it's Duke, it's probably going to be Duke moving forward. But again, thanks for watching the content. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We'll catch you next time. Boomer.